Canada Day, for most, it's a time to get out your red t-shirts, grab some friends and, well, celebrate. But for Indigenous people, the day is a marker of a reclaiming of land and a broken promise of mutual respect. Cora Voyager is from the Athabasca Chipewyan First Nation, and she researches the Indigenous experience in Canada.
As Indigenous people, we are one of the three pillars of creating our country, and we essentially got left behind.
Following Confederation, the creation of the Indian Act in 1876, it allowed the government to control land, resources, and other aspects of life. It's tied to the genocide of Indigenous people and their culture.
We entered into treaty with the idea that we were going to be partners and share the land and resources with the newcomers. And there have been, a lot of reneging on the promises that were made in the treaties.
And land is still fought for today. Rail blockades stopped trains for weeks in February as the Coastal GasLink pipeline project was planned to run through unceded land in Wet'suwet'en territory before an agreement was signed. Voyager says serious issues still plague Indigenous people today.
Indigenous people are victims of racism in this country. And, there are issues around, police brutality and overrepresentation in the justice system.
For non-Indigenous people to give a land acknowledgement is a real deep act of respect, a deep act of making things right.
Land acknowledgements are done ceremoniously today to honor the people who first owned the land. But a land acknowledgement goes beyond ceremony. Troy says when celebrating our country, it's important to know the history of the land. Right here where I'm standing, it tells a story.
If you learn about what that really means and that relationship and the thousands and thousands of years of history and being and ways of knowing and intelligence that rise from that, people will have their minds blown away.
Both Cora and Troy say this July 1st, Canadians are invited to learn about Canada's history and land, so we can truly understand what we're celebrating on Canada Day. In Calgary, Taylor Braat, City News.